In this video, I'm gonna be showing you my new cruiser dinghy boat. This is a Pelican Catch 100, PWR100 boat I picked up. On this video, I'm gonna go show you how I put the 3.5 horsepower Mercury engine on it and hooked it to an auxiliary 6-gallon fuel tank. Go over some of what my plans are for this boat, what I'm going to be using it for. Like I say, I'm in New Bern, North Carolina. If you haven't watched that video, check it out right here, where I drove the boat up here 500 miles from Jekyll Island last month. We're going to take it for a ride, cruise it, see how it is with a 3.5 horsepower engine. If you haven't already, hit like. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. If you could subscribe and look at the other videos, I would really appreciate it. Chad, and this is my home, a 1988 main ship that I bought out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Currently, I'm traveling on America's Great Loop, over 6,000 miles of inland waterways around the eastern and western portion of the United States of America. But I do have plans on traveling across the Gulf of Mexico, through the Panama Canal, and up to San Francisco to Alaska. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe, and that way you hit the bell notification. You'll know when I upload new videos. Like I say, we're gonna take a look at the boat. I'm gonna show you kind of how I have it set up with this 6-gallon tank, and then I hooked it to this Mercury 3.5 horsepower engine. I'll show you how I tapped into the motor and set this boat tank up. So let's start taking a look here under the front. I'm just gonna jump back in this thing because that's the only way. It's pretty stable. Once you're sitting in it and you're sitting in here, it's very stable, especially when you're under power. But when it's just kind of hooked to the back of the boat like this, it kind of bounces all over. So under here, I put a power station. That's gonna give me power for 110, 12 volts, phone charging. So just a portable power station up in the front, under there. And the boat also has these accessories already mounted on here. So you can put like a GPS mount, phone mount, stuff like that on there. So it's also, these rails, these hand railings have, you know, they're cut out for adapters. And you can go on Amazon and see all the Kayak adapters they have for phone mounts and cup holders and all kinds of kayak stuff that'll go into these rails on here. Like I say, this is the Catch PWR100. So taking a look, I put these mounts on here. This is for a kayak canopy. So I'll throw the canopy on this. I got it off right now just so the boat has some light so you can see it. But I'll put the canopy on there before the end of this video, and you can check that out. If you're into fishing, it's got some holes already drilled in. I was actually thinking of getting some poles out of here and making a rack back here, maybe like a rack or something. But okay, so here's how I hooked this motor up. So I just went to West Marine and bought a fuel hose, and then you know, a quick connect here. So the adapters, put the hose together, filter, through a filter. I would say always run a filter on your outboards when you've got a tank like this. One small little piece of grit or contamination will clog your carburetor, and it'll, you know, shut the motor down. You won't be able to idle the motor, or the motor may not run. It'll just die on you. Always, I would recommend putting in a fuel filter. So, all right, let's take the cover off the motor. That way I can show you what I got going on here. I hooked this fuel cell up to this 3.5 horsepower Mercury engine. I got some brass pipe from Lowe's Hardware, and most of these fittings were just from West Marine. I got a quick connect fitting here, going to a 90-degree fitting to a piece of brass pipe. This is where the fuel shutoff was. I just pulled out the fuel shutoff, so I didn't drill anything. Just some brass pipe to a barb fitting at the top. The barb fitting runs over to the other side of the engine into the vacuum pump. Vacuum comes from the engine into the pump. This outlet goes back to the carburetor. So the only hose I took off was on this vacuum pump, where instead of it pulling from the stock tank, it's now pulling from the quick connect fitting on this auxiliary tank here. There's the quick connect there. Okay, here you can see it with the canopy on there. I ordered that off Amazon too. It's a Kayak canopy. It's got 2 attach points, and then it just uses a couple of straps. I mean, it looks like it's, you know, pretty well on there. Okay, let's get in this boat. All right, let's try this thing out. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, gets right up and goes. I brought some extra gas in case I need that. Okay, so I brought Navionics up. What I'm gonna do is screen record my area where I am and riding and our speed, so you can take a look here. We'll just start that and go there. Okay. Let's open it up, see what we can get out of this boat. Looks about 4 knots, 4.5 knots. I guess we'll just stay right around here for right now, and we'll take a ride over to Union Point Park. I've got the tiller on the outboard set pretty tight, so that when I put the outboard in a certain direction, it kind of just keeps the boat, the tiller's not flipping around back there. So I don't always have to be running the tiller. Once I set it in the direction I want to go, it kind of stays there. You know, it's not perfect, but it kind of stays there and keeps me pointed in the direction that I'm headed. Tested it with the big tank yet. I just had it running at the back of the boat. I just put this together yesterday, so this is nice. The canopy is keeping the sun off me, and seems to be working all right. Like I say, we're full throttle, going about 4.5 knots, 4.5 knots. That's the cruising speed of this boat, 4.5 knots. Well, this is lovely. So part of my plans with this boat, let me idle the motor down here a little bit so you can hear me. Part of my plans with this boat is like here in New Bern, there's the Trent River, taking trips, side trips. Basically, this is going to be the side trip boat. That's why it's got the big fuel capacity. It's not just a dinghy boat I'm going to use it for. I'm going to put my camping gear in here. One trip, I'll make a video here in New Bern. It's going down the Trent River. It's not called Pollocksville, but how you say that? It's down there. They got some public docks there. Maybe go have lunch. There's also a campground over there, and it looks like you can take a river right into the campground. So it's about 10 or 15 miles, and that's about what this boat is going to be used for, is side trips and you know, kind of excursions like that. So not just going from the boat ship to shore like a dinghy. So I plan to like really use this boat on some pretty long trips and continue to outfit it for long trips. And so these are the public docks right here. So you can dock your dinghy up here and free all day right here at Union Point Park. You can throw your dinghy there. And the way this boat handles, you can just lean side to side and steer the boat. So if I want to go this way, I just lean over this way. Look at that. It'll turn, I mean really turn. I want to go the other way, just lean. You don't even have to steer the tiller or the outboard. Look at that. I want to go straight, I just sit straight. That's pretty neat, huh? So having an outboard on a boat like this, a kayak style boat, it's not that big of a disadvantage. Like you have to be back there steering it, and I can steer it just by leaning like a motorcycle once it's going. I don't know how far over I can lean with it, but I can lean pretty far with it. Okay, we're almost back to my boats right here. Alright, let's get it roped up here. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the boat. Hang on to something. For checking out the video I made on this new Pelican Catch PWR100 with my 3.5 horsepower engine. Like I say, my plans for this boat is not just a ship-to-shore dinghy boat. I plan to do side trips, some pretty long excursions with this boat. So if you haven't, hit like and hit subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. Really, I just want to take those ads off the videos when they start that YouTube has put on there, so you don't have to watch all those ads. So if you could subscribe, check out the rest of the series on YouTube. If you start at the oldest video first, you'll be able to see where I picked up this trawler boat, this main ship trawler that I've got, my liveaboard boat, out of St. Petersburg, Florida, and drove it around Florida and up the coast here to New Bern, North Carolina. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.